Hi everyone, welcome back to the next diecast. In today's video, I'll be unboxing and doing a quick review of this 1/24th scale BMW Z8 made by Maisto. Got this model off of eBay for $8 plus shipping. I got this in the same order as that orange Maisto Dodge concept car. That was also in 1/24th scale that I reviewed some time back. As you can see, it's in the older style of Maisto box here. It was made in the early 2000s, special edition 124. You have this kind of tan background on here with the name of the car back there. And the car is held in place with 2 screws and has that shipping strap on there. Nothing really on the back. And then underneath you have special edition and some other information down there. Let's go ahead and get this model out of the box. All right, get that open. All right. And here's the model on its cardboard base. Maisto still uses these cardboard bases today for their 1/24th scale models. They just don't have this like beige kind of marble pattern anymore. They're just all white. And then today they have the name of the car on the outside of the box as opposed to the inside. Like it would usually be down here, but on the older box it says special edition. So let's go ahead and get it off the base. I think it should be held down by 2. Yep, we got 2 screws down there. So we'll get it off the base next. All right, here's the Z8 off the base. We just got to get this strap off next. Looks like it's just held on by some tape. Pulls right off. That's easy enough. All right, here's our Z8. Love this blue color on there. It looks awesome. And of course, standard for Maisto 1/24th scale models, you have the opening hood. Hang on a sec. There we go. You have the opening hood and the opening doors. Looks like a really cool model. On to the review. All right, let's take a look at the BMW Z8 here. Pretty nice model overall from Maisto, especially when you compare it to their other models they were making in 1/24th scale in the early 2000s. And a fun fact, I also have this model in 1/18th scale, as you can see here, and in approximately 1/64th scale. I say approximately because I'm not really sure what actual scale this is. Maisto doesn't put the scales of their smaller cars on the bases like they did with their bigger cars, but here's all 3 right here. This is kind of like that Dodge concept vehicle that I reviewed a while back. I have the same model in 3 different scales, you know, same colors and everything. I always think that's cool to be able to do that. But overall, we'll take a look at the details of the 1/24th scale version here. So Maisto no longer makes this particular model in their 1/24th scale line. They did make it for quite some time in their 1/24th scale line. It came in a variety of colors. I think the most common are the red and black versions because they were actually made the longest out of the other colors. They also made it in blue, which you see here, and silver. A good group of colors, I would say. And overall, the details I would say on this model are fairly well done for the most part. We'll take a look up here at the front. Nice looking headlights. You can see that they're replicated as separate plastic pieces. Nice job with the lenses and everything here. They're nice and flush with the body. The BMW badge is actually just a sticker, which is unfortunate. The 1/18 scale version has actually a 3-dimensional separate plastic piece, which I raved about in my review of that version. At least the sticker has the BMW badge on it, and it's kind of off center, but I guess I could always, there's a thread sticking out of that too. I guess I could always take it off and stick it back on or something, but I'm probably just gonna leave it as it is. The grills, as you see here, they're fairly well done. They're not fully perforated grills like you see on the 1/18 scale version, but at least they're separate plastic pieces, and they look pretty convincing, I would say. And you have the painted on turn signals down here too. Paint quality overall is very well done. You have this nice kind of dark metallic blue finish on it, which you also see on the 1/18 scale version. There's no orange peel or anything at all. It's a very smooth paint job throughout, which is very nice to see. They do a nice job with the wheels too. You do have the BMW badge, it's just not necessarily colored in. And you actually have branded Goodyear tires on here. Maisto was kind of ditching branded tires on their 1/24th scale models around when this model was made, but on this one you do have those branded tires. It's a cool bonus. Then you have these kind of side grills on either side here. They shouldn't be completely silver, but at least Maisto includes them as kind of separate pieces. And you have a little BMW badge back there too. Very sturdy side mirrors, which is always nice to see. The windshield's fairly sturdy. It's actually just kind of a thin piece of plastic, but most of Maisto's, roadsters and convertibles in 1/24 scale have just plastic windshields, so not a big deal. Back here, same BMW badge as the front. It's just a sticker, unfortunately. At least this one's kind of better applied than the front, but I wish they did it as either a painted on badge or as like a separate plastic piece. And the taillights are all painted on. If this model were to be re-released today, you would actually see, separately cast plastic taillights. For some reason, on Maisto's 1/24 scale models from the early to mid 2000s, their taillights were always painted on, or for the most part were always painted on. Kind of strange, but Maisto has since improved on that with these models, and they actually do, actual separately cast taillights. But I mean, at least they're the accurate shape and everything, and they do look kind of convincing if you look at it from far away. But up close, yeah, it's obvious that they're painted. And you have the same German plate that you see on the 1/18 scale version. Opening features, of course, as this is a 1/24 scale model, you do have the opening hood. Kind of have to shake it to get it open. Engine detailing, I would say, is good for the most part for a 1/24 scale model. It is just one single plastic piece, but that's kind of characteristic of Maisto's 1/24 scale model engines. You see it's this BMW M Power and Z8 on there. And the engine piece itself is actually nice and, tight with the body. It doesn't, move around when you push on it or anything like that. Would like to see a little bit more coloring. I think you have some coloring up here, and you got the badging, of course, and a little bit back there. But again, the 1/18 scale version is going to be better detailed because it is not a much larger model, but it's in general a larger model, so you kind of have more room to have these details. But on here, I'd say for a 1/24 scale Maisto engine, it is a fairly well detailed, which is nice to say. And of course, you have opening doors. Interior is overall well done, I would say. You have all different textures in there throughout. You have kind of a leather pattern on the seats, and kind of leather wrinkles too. Maisto has this on the 1/18 scale version too, and they include that on here, and that's really cool. These are very, convincing looking seats. They even have like the stitching detail in there and everything. Just very, very cool. You don't get seat belts though, like you do on the 1/18 scale version, but at least the seats themselves are very well done. They're the accurate size and shape, have a very nice leather pattern to them. Same thing with this boot cover back here, where the convertible top would actually be underneath when it is folded back. You have kind of that stitching effect on there, and kind of a nice like leather pattern too. Dashboard and center stack looks decent overall. You do see the buttons; they're not necessarily colored in or anything, and there is kind of a nice brushed aluminum look and pattern to the center portion of the dashboard, and you have kind of a nice pattern going on the top part too. The steering wheel could use a little bit more detailing. The steering wheel is the accurate shape and everything. They just didn't make the BMW badge in the center colored. I would have even been okay with like a BMW sticker on there. You do see the badge, it's just like silver like the rest of this center part of the steering wheel is. At least they tried with the detailing, but I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more, but not a big deal. This is a 1/24 scale model. And nice detailing on the door panels too. You have kind of a nice stitch pattern going across the whole bottom portion and kind of up top here. And you have the molded in silver door handle and the window buttons there, which is cool to see. The rearview mirror is actually just a single piece of clear plastic, which is really strange looking. Maisto usually did this with their older 1/24 scale models, but I guess you could always take a marker and kind of color in the parts that shouldn't be clear, I guess. But that's kind of odd to see that. If this were to be re-released today, you would see an actual, rear view mirror, not this like, piece of clear plastic. So that looks a bit odd and kind of detracts from the detail a little bit, but you can't really see the rear view mirror anyway from certain angles like this, so not a big deal. Overall, I would say that this model holds up well to Maisto's other 1/24 scale models from the same era. And if you can find it for a good price, I would say definitely get it. They're not making it anymore, but there are many available on eBay, and it should be easy to find for under $20. As always, hope this video was helpful, and feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the model. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.